Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Good morning, Ted, and how are you?
I'm doing good. Just welcoming my audience to our Money Connection and TV and channel, and we just want to welcome everyone. We got some interesting topics today, and one of them is, one of them is Donna Brazile. She got a new book out. Then we also have this tax thing going on. We got some serious issues with our health program, that's going on, the ACA. And then we have, of course, our two segments, the Big Connection and holistic health. So we got a lot of things that's going on in the market. We got a lot of things going on in the business world. What you got, Ed? What's going on with Donna Brazile? I don't know. It sounds like it's going crazy. The Democratic Party is split down the middle.
Well, I'm hoping that what happened here this week with the revelation from Donna Brazile about what had happened during the election will do some healing here with the Democratic Party. Donna has been involved in the Democratic Party very deeply and stuff ever since 2000, when she was the campaign manager for Al Gore, and Al Gore wind up losing to our Bush, the 43, and well, she is really actually a political animal, like I call her, and she has written a book which is coming out next week. And in that book, there's an excerpt in there about what happened in the election, the 2016 election between Bernie and Hillary Clinton. And there is some very, very interesting things that had happened that she has exposed out there. So all of the people in the Democratic Party realize what the heck happened, and she says, and it's true, that Hillary's campaign did hijack the DNC for her. And now a lot of Bernie Sanders followers and stuff are saying, nah, yeah, we knew it. But no one knew what had happened because it was a secret agreement that was signed between the DNC and the Clinton campaign. And it happened over a year before anyone knew about it. It happened in 2015 when that agreement was signed, that the Clinton campaign were going to be in charge of the DNC. And it created a unfair advantage and everything for the Bernie Sanders campaign. But when Bernie finally found out about it after Donna Brazile became the acting CEO of the DNC, there was a firestorm going on last year in 2016, right before the deconvention happened. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was the CEO of the DNC and had been the CEO of the DNC for a long, long time. As a matter of fact, Obama appointed her to the chairmanship, and she kept that chairmanship for a long, long time. And so we find out now that Debbie didn't do a very good job in the DNC. And we can probably go all the way back into 2010 election when the Republicans took over the House and everything through a big firestorm there, and how she allowed that to happen. And from what I'm seeing and what everybody else is saying, and they've been saying for a long time, was that Debbie was not a very good chairman of the DNC. And because of that, she kept on, I guess she believed that DNC was only going to be responsible for national elections. And I guess that's what it looks like, that she only cared about the presidency, who was going to be the president, who was going to be the vice president of this country. Anything else, any other down ticket items and stuff like the state conventions or whatever, or Democratic State Party, she had no say so about it at all. She took them for whatever, and it was a pretty big mess there. I know that there are a lot of people who are going to be mad at Donna because of what she has brought forth, but like you and I were talking about earlier, when you've got something like that going on, it has created a rift into the Democratic Party. And sometimes when you have a big tear in the Democratic Party, even though people are trying to cover it over and hiding it or whatever, sometimes you have to bring those things out and let people know what happened. And I'm into the thing that if you tell the truth, you're going to be okay. And eventually, I think that what Donna Brazile has done, exposed what happened, is going to heal some wounds out there. And then the DNC is going to get about the business of really going forth and stuff for the 2018 election, which is very important. And we know every time we have an election is very important, but elections are important no matter when they happen.
Well, I don't know. The thing is what I'm looking at. It seems to me that it's a big division with the Democratic Party, as far as unity, because Bernie Sanders is basically a leftist, as they call it, or socialist. That's his whole philosophy. And to me, you have a lot of people in the Democratic Party that are centralists or, liberal, but then they have a lot of things that they're against politically and in policy wise. So, because a lot of the people that are Democrats they're into making money. They're capitalists. Bernie Sanders is not a capitalist. He's against everything, when it comes to, these big corporations, which to a certain degree is some of the things he's saying is correct. As far as all the kind of money that they're making and they're not paying their fair share of taxes. And getting back to Donna Brazile, in my mind, she wrote this book to bring herself back to life. And what I mean by that is that she's, hardly see her on TV anymore. She used to be on TV every day. She lost her contract as far as I see with CNN. And she'll probably be on TV all over the place now since that book is coming out. She'll probably be on Sunday morning shows and speaking her mind regarding that. But it's a good thing, I think, because they need to expose both sides, the Republican side and Democratic side. They all, in my mind, I can't find a better word. I'm just going to say crooks. Mm-hmm. They all about themselves. They're not really about the people of this country to a certain degree. Just a few people, the ones that's working and that type of thing, making lots of money and that type of thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know one thing is that people got to get engaged. I'm talking about from the lowest, so-called lowest people to up to the highest people. They better get engaged if they want to keep this country together.
Well, I guess in a way, Ted, you are right about the fact that, yes, everyone out there who's in politics right now is concerned about money. And that's why we are out there, because we are the money connection. We talk about money. And even this thing here with Donna, you're talking about a lot of avenues of money. You're talking about how Hillary took the campaign money and stuff, the donations that were given to the DNC and put it into her own coffer. That's that money. Everybody is out there for that almighty dollar. So, And now you look at Donna and stuff in her book. Yes, it's going to eventually end up being a big windfall for her pocketbook and everything, because she put the word out there, and people want to read what she has in her book, especially why she put that information in there about the DNC and what the heck happened. She really created a firestorm because of that. But because she has done that, we have to look at the residual effect of that also, that it's going to start healing the Bernie Sanders wing of the Democratic Party, and also the Hillary Clinton wing of the Democratic Party. And once they start healing, then they can start coming together for big things, like I said, winning the 2018 election, getting the House back, and working to try to get the Senate and everything and stuff back, which right now looks like it's a toss-up. Are we going to get the DNC is going to get the Senate back? Well, could be close. Will they get the House back? We don't know. But there are a lot of extraneous stuff going on out there that, if you bring them all together and stuff, it's going to mean something very positive. You got our past Attorney General Eric Holder out there, who is trying to deal with this gerrymandering thing. You have our president now, who has he's starting to bring together these young folks and stuff, and starting to bring them into the political party or whatever. Then you have Donna Brazile here trying to heal the DNC. And then you have Tom Perez and stuff, who was the chairman of the DNC and stuff. When we're waiting on him to come forth and find out what the heck he has to say about this whole thing. And I think he's going to be a big key and stuff in this whole thing also. What he does and how he performs and stuff out there is going to be very, very critical. And also, there's a lot of things and stuff out there what's going to be determined. But I really, in my mind, when I first read that article from Politico and stuff on Wednesday, when they brought it to light, I thought it was something great. I thought I commend my sister, Donna, for putting that out there. And I don't care what anybody else and stuff says about it and everything. I think she did the right thing, no matter what.
Well, the truth is the truth, and that's what should always be, really emphasized, because if, and I want people to be truthful at all times, obviously, because then that way that exposes everything.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want, is the truth.
Absolutely.
Just like we want the truth in what's going on with the taxes. Because I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you, it's crazy now. They just cut everything.
Well, I think that the Republican Party is looking for a major win here, because they're controlling they're controlling the two branches of the government. The only thing that they haven't really took over control is the judicial branch, but they got the executive branch and they got the legislative branch. Well, both the legislative and the executive branch wants a big win, and our 45, he is so entrenched and stuff in getting him a big win that he will do anything. And the fact that he wants to do anything really destroys what he's trying to do. Because you speak of tax reform, and right now he is back to that philosophy of Ronald Reagan. If you cut taxes, the business and stuff, for the business and stuff, it's going to be a windfall for money. For people out there making money, trickle down. Hey, and that's their philosophy again. And we know that trickle down does not work. But the Republican Party is so entrenched in trickle down that they use different words and stuff for it, and they keep on bringing it forth, and some people are being fooled by it.
Well, 30 years, 35 years, what it's been, I mean, we got a generation or two that don't know nothing about it, so they can sell it all over again. And I think that's our boy, what's his name? Ryan?
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan, has been selling this mess for years. And in my mind, he's a joke. I mean, he is probably one of the biggest con artists there is. This guy, it's unbelievable. I mean, this guy's never had a real job. He's always since his young career, getting out of college, he's been working in politics. So, and he worked his way up, being under some politician. I can't think of his name right now, but he worked under him and he liked his ideology. So he's been preaching this stuff for the longest and thinking that cutting taxes and, getting people off of certain programs, stopping this program, cutting this program, this is his whole way of life. And he doesn't realize that, in my mind, all the businesses are gone. Where are the jobs going to come from? The businesses are gone. They're not coming back. They had this one little show, 45 had this one little show, one little job company coming back. Yeah, we'll see how far they're going to come back and how many jobs they're going to provide. But, until I see 20,000 manufacturing companies come back to this country, then you tell me something. Because right now, over 50,000 of those jobs are overseas, and so many international corporations right now they have like 50-50. They have 50,000, they got 50% of the employees over here, and they got the 50% of the employees overseas somewhere, And so, which, they're all about making money. So, they're going to take advantage of it. So I want to know, where are the jobs going to come from? Because they're not loaning money to the inner city. They're not going to the urban areas and giving out money and helping these small businesses in the inner city. So where's the money going to come from?
Well, Ted, you know what's going on here, and I guess we both know what's going on. They are trying to do something and hoping that it works. And what happens when you keep on doing something over and over and over and over again and expecting different results, you are insane. So you got a lot of insane people out there who control a lot of money. But in actuality, what they're doing is covering up the fact that they're trying to put money back into their billionaires' friends' pockets.
There you go.
That's exactly what the heck it is. That's the bottom line of what this whole thing is. Give them back as much money as they can. And whether you break this country or not, and they go into bankruptcy, it is not something that is going to work. And everybody out there knows it's going to work, because if you look at what's going on, there's no firestorm and stuff going out there. You don't hear a lot of people who are in uproar and stuff because of this tax cut. Nobody's out there walking the streets and hollering and screaming and everything, because they have no idea what the heck is going on. And I'm hoping and that eventually this farce will be exposed and people out there will realize it. Because if you look at the poll numbers and stuff, there are people out there don't believe what the Republicans are saying. But if you don't open your mouth and say something, then a lot of times what happens is that you're going to lose out because of what's going on. And hopefully with these little tidbits of stuff that they're putting out there with this child tax credit thing that they're going to give people, they're incentivizing them where we're going to give you all a few little nickels out there, a few little pennies and stuff and everything, and put it in your pocket.
I think he said something like $1,200 or something like that. Some ridiculous amount. That ain't no money. $1,400. I don't know.
It's $600 more, actually. But they're giving their friends and stuff billions of dollars.
Billions.
Like tax cuts, and then it's creating a hole in the national debt. We've already. And we have a debt going on now, but when you start talking about taking that debt from in the billions and putting it into the trillions of dollars in national debt, then it's a farce out there, because they've been harping at the Democratic Party and a Democratic president, wherever you done created a debt here, you can't do this because of the debt. And they all of a sudden, they're fighting him because the debt's too high. And now all of a sudden, the people who were fighting Obama and telling him that the debt was wrong, now saying the debt is right. You can have a debt. And it's like
they've never cared about the debt. When Reagan was president, he brought the debt to $5 trillion. That's when you had real money. Then that was real money, $5 trillion. We're talking over 30 years ago. He brought the debt up. At that time, I think we had a debt of less than $3 trillion. He brought it up another $5 trillion. So the thing is that, and he spent all that money. A lot of that money went to the Pentagon. A lot of that money went to helping the rich, cutting taxes. And now, back then you only had a few millionaires. Now you got and maybe a few. Well, you had a few millionaires and a lot of you had a lot of millionaires back in the 80s, but you had a few billionaires. Now, globally, you got over 2,000 billionaires. And I put in one of my articles about what Steve Forbes said from Forbes magazine, said that, hey, we need to have 20,000 billionaires. So in other words, they're looking for people who want to be billionaires, not about helping the people. It's not about, hey, what's best for the people, because these are tax dollars that the people are paying for. These are the people that's doling out this money. And all they're doing is using the government. They're privatizing everything. They're privatizing everything. I heard one of these so-called speakers that is a capitalist saying you need to really privatize the rivers in this country. They're already privatizing the roads.
Well, they might.
So, they want to sell off everything in this country. Anybody want to buy it? Anybody want to buy anything? You can buy the high rises, you can buy the roads, you can buy the rivers, you can buy everything. And that means you're going to control the water.
Absolutely.
That means if you're buying land, that means any resources that's under the land, like oil and all kinds of fossil fuels, whatever. So, they control that. So, right now, like a person that is living in a subdivision, they don't own that land, bruh. You bought the property, you bought the lot, but you don't own nothing up under this property. That's under the property cost. I can guarantee you that,
Well, to get back to this tax reform thing, cause it's like everything and stuff out there. We if you don't have control of anything, and it goes back what we're talking about being able to go out there and vote. When you put your people there in office, at least you might have a way of controlling what the heck happened, and you will have a big voice and stuff. And
you can at least slow it down.
You're gonna slow it down because they're still going to, no matter what you do, they're still going to give their friends money. And I think eventually and stuff that because so many people have not opened their mouths and said anything about this tax reform, is one of the reasons and stuff is that they're keeping this whole thing secret. They're trying to do the same thing they did with repealing and replacing of the Affordable Care Act. You're going to keep it secret, and then all of a sudden you're going to bring it out and everything into a short period of time and have a vote on it. Well, Speaker Ryan can do this and stuff because he's in the House there. But if you look at it and stuff, the Senate and stuff also has to have a voice and stuff in this whole thing too. So that might be our firewall in this whole thing and stuff, is that there are some Republican senators and stuff out there who they're going to have to appease here with this a tax reform thing. And you've gotten so many rules and regulations there in the Senate that you don't have in the House, that it creates a problem and stuff. And I think what's going on is that one of the other things is that if you look at the news and stuff last week, they had Paul Ryan sitting there right beside the president, and they all of a sudden, we're going to do all this tax thing, and we're going to simplify the tax thing. And they brought out.
He's not going to do nothing.
They brought out a half a page of piece of paper and said, "This is where you're going to file your tax return on it."
Right. How many years they've been saying that? How many years? I've been around long enough be hearing that crap, because you know those lobbyists, those accountants and tax attorneys and all that, they ain't going for that, bro. They're not gonna go for that. They make too much money doing taxes.
Well, that's why I say, Ted, there is so many lobbyists and stuff up there on Capitol Hill that eventually all this stuff is going to fall by the wayside anyway, and they are not going to get anything done. They're looking at a timetable of getting it to the president's desk for Thanksgiving, and now that we sent it out to Christmas, and I'm pretty sure by the end of this month it'll be going out to next year when they get this thing done. But they are on a very, very short lease here and stuff. If they don't get this thing done by the end of this year and stuff, it's going to be even. The further that they can keep this thing from happening in this year, the better off we're going to be. That it's not going to pass it off.
But here's the thing, though, Ed. You mentioned Firestorm. No one. I'm talking about the people, and they're keeping all things hush hush. They're not talking about the news on a consistent basis and how it's going to hurt. They don't give you the details. There's some people out there that's talking about it on different mediums, but the bottom line is that it has to be a firestorm. People right now are making a living. They're working, some of them 8, 12, 16-hour days. And so therefore, these people are just trying to survive, trying to keep their homes, trying to keep their cars, get their kids in school. So a lot of people that are doing these things, they don't realize how much it's going to hurt them. You get a few $100s here and there, but the bottom line is, eventually all your services is going to be gone. A lot of the things that you look forward to is being cut down. They're cutting it out. And then those people that really need help and needs situation, they're going to be eliminated. And a lot of people are always talking about the homeless and the poor and all this. This is why, because they keep cutting services. People, when they're looking for jobs, they usually have a job program where they can train people. I heard somebody mention, and I came up with this, and I worked 1 year for CETA. You remember CETA?
Mm-hmm.
That was a program that kept kids out of trouble. Teenagers and adults that couldn't find a job. When I was 14 years old, I worked for CETA. That was a program, and you know what I did all day? I slang a sickle, cutting grass, but I got a check. You understand? Cleaning the neighborhood up. So but those programs have been eliminated, bro.
But you look at the tax reform here and stuff, Ted, and I watched Bush, and I also watched Reagan and stuff do the same thing, because we old enough to realize that. But you're looking at the millennium kids and stuff now who wasn't even born and stuff during that time, who were just being born and stuff when Bush enacted his tax cut. And if you remember in Bush's tax cut, and I think that the Speaker and McConnell and 45 are all trying to use that same playbook. They are under the guise and stuff of giving tax cuts or whatever, or tax reforms and stuff. What Bush did eventually, and I know I was the recipient of a few of those things, and a lot of other people were too.
Oh yeah, I was too.
He gave everybody $600.
I said, what am I doing with this $600? That's what I said. Sorry, $600.
But there were a lot of people, Ted, who were happy to get that $600 and put it in their pocket. And Bush enacted a tax cut and everything that blew a hole in our deficit.
Yeah.
And it has taken our Democratic president over 8 years to put a dent in that daggone thing and bring it and bring it back down. And they did that by cutting services, like you said, and cutting out this and cutting out that, and trying to bring in more money and stuff into the federal government.
And he slowed down the Pentagon's budget too. You know, because he did something. Yeah, he slowed that down too.
Absolutely, but they're using that for national defense because everybody believes, and Republicans believe, that we have to have a strong national defense, and to do that, we have to give them money, and that thing is a honeypot for anybody out there who is dealing with national defense contracts. You're talking about Boeing. You're talking about a lot of companies out there who are building planes and stuff and everything that
all over the country
planes that never even fly, you know, or a tank or aircraft carrier that's once they decide it costs $2 billion to build, by the time they get done, they're gonna spend $6 billion and stuff on it, because you got so much stuff going on, because people are buying a boat for $90 for a daggone boat to go on the daggone ship. But it is a feeding thing and stuff for people out there who want to make extra money, and they have very strong lobbying groups out there, because they know that this is a windfall for them, just like it is over there with in Puerto Rico. You got this energy company to come over there, and they gave them a contract, $300 million to put up the electrical lines and stuff in Puerto Rico, and the people out there working on lines making almost triple, quadruple the amount of money that they would make in the United States and stuff. And
$300 an hour. What kind of ridiculous crap is that?
but they almost got away with it, Ted. The fact is, they almost got away with it. And every time you ask somebody, well, did you do this? Did you approve this? Did you approve that? And everybody's saying, no, I didn't approve anything. But you notice that
where did the money come from?
But you notice that the governor of Puerto Rico, he's quiet. He's not saying a word, because somebody had to sign that contract. And you know what's going on, Ted. Somebody in Puerto Rico is ripping off the Puerto Rican people.
Yep. No question about that.
But that's how the thing goes. When you have taxes going on, there's money out there. There are people out there who are greedy, and they want to get that money. And as long as the Republicans can give enough people enough of a honeypot to keep them quiet, they're going to be able to pass this thing.
See, that's what I call, what we call as minor oligarchs. These are the minor oligarchs. They're not the oligarchs, but they're the minor oligarchs. They go, they're business people, but they rob the government. They're business people, but they rob the government, the taxpayers. When I say government, I'm talking about taxpayers, or people that's paying taxes, federal taxes, all kind of taxes. So that's what they're doing. And they're just minor oligarchs. That's all. They go in there, and then they give these certain people. Now, if they're paying these people $300 an hour, how much money is those presidents of that corporation making?
There's only two people, Ted. There's only two people. Don't forget that. There were two people.
He hired outside people. He brought in about 300 people. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, how much money is he getting, or he has gotten? He probably got $20 million right off the top just for administrating it.
No, they only in the hole for $10 million. So they stopped them before they got to that $20 million level.
He probably happy he made that.
He was expecting to get 20 million, but they stopped him before he got to the $20 million that he wanted to put in his pocket. So instead of him getting 20 million, he only got 5 million, because he still has a budget where he has to pay these people that he brought over there about, and by the time it gets done, they probably wind up spending out about $5 million and stuff to pay these people, because they canceled the contract, and now he has to go back to United States and everything. But I'm pretty sure that he's not going back to the United States broke. All of them are going to make some money.
So what kind of capitalism you call that? Crony capitalism? What is that? I mean, he knew somebody who knew somebody who knew
Absolutely,
somebody.
who knew somebody, because you know that the Secretary of the Interior, the town that business came from, that's where he was born at, and that's where he was raised up in that town. So the Secretary of Interior, keeps saying that he doesn't know anything about this. Well, I believe him like I believe we didn't have a hurricane.
It's like, you know, we are, you know, the people of this country are boo-boo the fools. You know, it's like we don't understand and don't know what's going on. We might not get the details of everything, but you know, a lot of people nowadays, you know, they can read between the lines there.
Well,
people can read between the lines.
But they still lie, Ted. You look you in the face and lie. I didn't do that. You know, you look at Trump sit there, look you in the face and lie.
Well,
you know,
we need a moral. we need something, some kind of morality covering or something. We need something, because you know, these lies that we figure out that they are lies and then they outright lies. Somehow we have to figure this out to this country, you know, to realize that, hey, you know, I'm sick of your lies. I'm sick of what you're telling me, and I'm looking you right in the face, and I just saw you say what you just said, and now you're telling me you didn't say it. What kind of crap is that?
But they okay with it. Nobody cares.
Well, what I'm saying is, where is the real moral majority? The people that are out there that's saying, I can't take it no more.
There
you know, like that movie Network, put their head out of the window.
Moral compass out there. Nobody cares.
There's nobody cares. It's like crazy. But anyway, let's go on. One of the things that you know, we have two segments, you know, that we like to go through, since we're talking about morality: the big connection, believe in God connection, and then also our holistic health plan. You know, what we like to talk about certain things about people's health. And one of the things that I like to use, I don't do it every day. I might do it maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Take a big tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Now, that is a great drink. Now you can drink it, drink it with water, drink it straight down, take a tablespoonful of it, and it does a lot of benefits to you, for you. One of the things that apple cider vinegar does is it gives you, it lowers the blood pressure, it improves diabetes and support weight loss. It's a powerful healing compound, which includes, a lot of different ingredients that really help your system. So I would suggest, do your research on the apple cider vinegar. And I'm not going to promote a brand because they're not going to pay us for doing it, because I am a capitalist. I'm not a socialist or a communist. So therefore, I'm not going to promote it unless they pay us, to promote their product. But I tell you, there's a lot of good products that's out there that you can do. And you take a tablespoon of that every day, it will help you, as far as your systems go. And do your own research. This is just my opinion. I'm not telling you to go out there and buy it or whatever, but check it out. Check it out. What you got, Ed?
Oh, man, I got a verse here that I was going to read to our audience out there. It's from 2 Samuel chapter 22, the second verse. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. In him will I trust.
All right. That's all we got. That's all we can trust really nowadays, because we're in some situations here,
Mm-hmm.
And in him I trust. That's correct. My verse is keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, you always got to keep your heart and your mind together, because regarding things that are right, things that are good, You understand? Because there is a wickedness and evil presence. You know, people are greed. You know, in a lot of my blogs, I sort of kind of bring up, you know, greed. Greed is a disease. You know, like people get greedy. You know, just like if you eat too much food, people just constantly eat. And you know, it's not good for you. And then all of a sudden now you're 50 pounds, 100 pounds overweight because, you know, that's greed. Well, it's the same thing with money. Greed. You never get enough of it. You know, if you don't know how to really do everything in moderation. You know, we got an old friend that used to always remind me, Ted, you got to do everything in moderation. Karen Washington, she used to always tell me that. Do everything in moderation. So the point is that you got a lot of greedy people out there. Their heart is not filled with the right things as far as what's going on in other people's lives. So, you know, you can make money, and you're making money. You got $1 billion, $2 billion, $50 billion, but your heart is you still not filled. You still want more money. You know, that's just like a person that's that's overweight and just keep on eating. You got to keep on eating, trying to find that fulfillment.
Yeah,
it's in God.
Yeah, and as we talked about how we have people out there in politics or whatever who will sit there and lie to you. Well, it doesn't mean because they're lying to you that you need to turn around and start lying. You need to hold your faith, because eventually what they're doing and stuff is not going to work. You can't keep lying to people and it works. But if you have faith and stuff and what's going on, then your faith eventually is going to bring forth a lot of things that is better than what they're doing about lying, because you can't keep on lying to people and expecting good things to happen. You can't do it. It's not going to happen. Eventually, if not, right now they are looking for an immediate gratification and stuff from it, but long term, it's not going to happen. You're going to be a liar for as long as they want, and no matter if you say, "Okay, I'm telling you the truth now," people are going to believe you. And you might be telling the truth because you cry wolf so much. People are not going to believe you. When you look at our president, he sits there in front of you and said, and I listened to one of the shows last night or the other week and stuff, how one of the announcers and stuff kept talking about it. They said, when Trump says, "Believe me," he's lying. He said something and said, "Believe me." You tell me, "Believe me." So what he did was he went back and asked his staff to find out if during the 8 years that President Obama was in office, did he ever tell the people out there or say anything about "believe me"? And they went back and they did extensive research, and they never saw a speech or anything that Obama said or whatever he said that he had to tell his audience or anybody or on TV show or whatever, "Believe me." Because if you have to tell somebody to believe you, then you're not telling the truth. So
that's right.
Tell the truth in everything you do, and everything's going to come out. Because as we spoke about Donna Brazile, she told the truth, and if you tell the truth, good things are going to happen. And then you can't follow along with those folks out there who are sitting there lying to the American public through their teeth and know they're lying, and they look you in the face and say, "Believe me."
Well, the thing is, you got to realize now, she's going to get just like anyone else that comes out with the truth, or someone does something that is right, they're going to get castrated. They're going to get assassinated when it comes to their character. So I look forward to seeing her character get maligned. I'm looking at that, and that's what's going to happen to her, even because she's supposed to be, I guess, a progressive liberal or whatever, and the bottom line is that they're going to try to get her too, and bring her down a peg or two, because they know that she's going to be out there doing what she does And she's very, we know that she's smart. We know that she's articulate. We know that she's down to earth and she's real, and she's going to tell the truth. And a lot of people are going to try to besmirch her character. And, and she did make a mistake, though, didn't she, Ed?
Well,
come on now, tell the truth.
we thought she did. At least I did. I thought
Okay.
I thought she had made a mistake. I thought she was a sellout. I thought she had sold us out. I thought she had sold us out for Hillary Clinton because they were beholden to her. And the Clintons and stuff. If you don't do what they ask you to do and stuff, what they will do, they will besmirch you. They will take you and do everything they can to bring you down. Well, at this point and stuff, I look at Donna and stuff and say, well, she sold us out. She sold us out. But I find out later, which is now, that what she did and everything, what I thought was wrong in everything that she was doing, it was something that we did not see. But when she put what she did into words and put it on paper, and I realized that when she did that, she's putting her political assets and stuff out there, and eventually, just like you said, she might be destroying herself in the immediate future, that people will not trust her to go out there and do anything. It's going to hurt her politically, but down the road, because she has told the truth and everything, I think she's going to come out of this thing smelling like a rose. She's going to make money off of her book, and people and people who are out there in politics are going to bring her back in to the folds and everything, because she has people and stuff who trust her. And when you have the trust of the people, that means a lot. And if you ask for forgiveness, then that's what's going to happen. And one thing that happened and stuff this week and stuff, Ted, that I really, another young lady and stuff out there, Carissa Michelle, or whatever her name, Cassette, the lady who sang at Trump's inauguration. She was blackballed. I mean, totally blackballed. And the urban community brought her down. She had concerts going on out there, and they would holler anybody at her concerts. Her record deals and her records and stuff and everything, and her albums did not sell. Her record company and stuff, Atlantic Record and everything, threw her off of their distribution service or whatever, and they brought this young lady down to her knees. But this week, after all that had went on, and she came on and told how she had this thing hurt her so bad that she was going to have she had a miscarriage because of the pain and the suffering that she was going through because of what she had done. And she come on the time during the morning show on Thursday and apologized to her audience out there that she had did the wrong thing. And she also went on to one of the popular radio programs there in New York, and she came forth, and I knew the host and stuff at their radio show and everything. They were at the beginning of that, when she first came on, they were at her. I mean, they were at her throats, but toward the middle and toward the end of it, by her coming forth and saying that she was sorry, she made a mistake. Now, it might not bring forth immediate gratification stuff from her audience or whatever. She still might have to build herself back up, because she had something like 2 million Twitter followers and people on Facebook who were following her, and all those people and stuff and everything. I mean, they wrote nasty things about her because of her desire to go on to be on the Bush's inauguration and sing there. Well, whatever money she got from singing there, but it has created a big problem and stuff for her. And right now she is very apologetic about what she's done, and she came forth and said, I am sorry.
Well, that's good for her, but the thing is that have you, I'm sure about 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, there was a big hoopla about Mary. I forget which one of the sisters it was that had put all over Facebook that in a long letter regarding voting for 45, and I think it was my wife that told me that she had to cancel her concerts.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that when you got 45 is definitely, and his crew, cabinet people, when you got those type of people that's doing what they're doing behind closed doors, Jeff Sessions doing all kind of things, it's crazy. So and it's coming right at the people of color, religious people. It's coming after all the people that are trying to live their daily lives.
Mm-hmm. And you look at another person out there who went before up and went to Trump and everything and said, well, he might be all right. And that's Steve Harvey. He's on a lot of the shows and stuff out there, game shows or whatever. But in actuality, his audience and stuff is being hurt too, because people of color is not following him anymore because of what the heck he had done and stuff with him. And he has been denigrated and stuff really bad. But he has not came back on. And Mary has not came on to any show and everything and said, hey, I did the wrong thing. I really did. And I want my audience and stuff to understand I did the wrong thing. And when you come to people and tell them, no matter what you have done, and you come and say, hey, I did the wrong thing. Chrisette Michele and stuff, she came on there and said, I did the wrong thing. And in hindsight, if I had to do it again, I would not do that again. But there are some people out there who are so dead set on saying, well, I did it and I don't care what you think. Those are the people and stuff who are going to be hurt and stuff really bad about it. And Mary has not came on and said I did the wrong thing or anything, and she's going to be blackballed until she does it. And you look at the gentleman and stuff, the general and stuff, Kelly and stuff, who came on and denigrated Miss Lady and stuff down there in Miami and stuff about what the heck she said, and come to find out everything that he said was untrue. But when he got on the Fox and stuff this past week and stuff, and they asked him and said, "You going to apologize?" He said, "No, I don't have anything to apologize for," knowing that he lied about this black woman.
Yeah, denigrated her, called her a what?
Empty barrel. Empty barrel.
And that lady is extremely smart, and she knows what she's doing, and she helps her constituents in a mighty way. So it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, how would you you disrespect a person in Congress, and then you expect to get respect? That's crazy.
Absolutely, and the backlash and stuff against him and stuff is going to be huge. I'm telling you, it is going to be huge. He has lost a lot of respect and stuff for a lot of people out there. It's not prevalent and stuff to him right now, but he has lost the respect of a lot of people, even some of the people probably in the military who were supposed to be his friends. I'm pretty sure a lot of them came forth and told him, say, hey man, you did the wrong thing. You shouldn't have done that. But sometimes people do that and they don't want to admit that they're wrong. And it shows, man. And down the road it's gonna hurt him. But right now it's not. He's Trump's friend, and that's how he wants to be as
chief of staff.
Yeah. Also, before we leave here, Ted, I want to make sure that our audience and stuff realize that anyone out there who has not enrolled into any healthcare program, that the enrollment period and stuff for healthcare is here. It started yesterday, and you only got a few days, a month, and 15 days in which to go out there and enroll into your healthcare program, because if you don't do it by the 15th of December, you're not going to be able to enroll in a healthcare program and get any monies and stuff put back into your pocket if you want to try to get healthcare and stuff for you or your family. So now's the time to do it. There are a lot of people out there who realize what 45 did about cutting the budget for the Affordable Care Act. He's trying to, behind the scenes, to kill the Affordable Care Act. But you've got people out there now who volunteer in their time and their services and stuff to let people know that you can enroll into the Affordable Care Act, and that there are benefits and stuff for doing that. There still is money and stuff out there for you if you want to enroll in the Affordable Care Act. And we want all of our audience and stuff to know that go out there now, and there are exchanges and stuff out there. The healthcare.gov website so far is still up, and you can go out there and go online and stuff, enroll into a healthcare program. There's also different companies out there who volunteer in their time to enroll in healthcare, and there are a lot of companies out there who want people to come out there and enroll into healthcare, because the more people that they have into their healthcare program, the better off that their patients or their clients and stuff as a whole, policies and stuff will not be as high, because the more people you have in that process, the more money that they have to pay for healthcare and stuff for other people and everything, which will reduce your premiums and stuff in the long run. So,
all right, we hope everybody that need those things take heed of that, because I mean, you don't want to get caught left in the bag, as far as not having that.
Having healthcare, yeah. Right? Because the first time you have someone that gets sick in your family, or you go to the doctor and you have a problem or whatever, and they tell you, "Do you have insurance?" and you say no, they're gonna walk you out the door. And so, well, we can't do this for you. So it's well worth it to go out there and get healthcare, because you just said, the more people who enroll into healthcare, the lower your premiums and stuff are going to be. So
absolutely. Well, before we go, I just want to say this, to let everybody know that we do have a blog we have blogs. We try to put at least 3 to 4 blogs out there a week, if not more. And you can read what we're thinking. These are our opinions. A lot of things that we put out there are factual. Some of the things that we put out there are just our opinion. And that's under the Ted and Ed moneyconnection.com. Also, you can check us out on Twitter. We're working on Snapchat and all those other little programs that medium centers that they have. But YouTube is a good connection. And we ask people to really get engaged, some kind of way, politically, business-wise, all kinds of ways that you can get engaged, this is our way of getting engaged. We too old to be there protesting, doing all that kind of stuff. But we can, we know how to write letters. We know how to do different things, in our own way. And you do things in your way, and try to make, really to make your community better, and to also make your, your neighborhood, your community better, and also make the state better, make the country better. What we're trying to do is basically, we want people to do better and be better, and make it comfortable for everyone, not just for a certain class of people, So that's the way we feel. That's the way we come at. And so hopefully you enjoy our programs and information that we do. And we're having fun. At least I know I'm having a ball. I don't know about you, Ed.
I'm having a good time, Ted. I really am. And I enjoy the fact that we have this thing going on. We have this thing every weekend on Saturday at 9 o'clock. And we're hoping that our audience and stuff will realize that what we have to say is very informative for them, keeping them informed, because most of our audience are out there working, like you said, 16, 17, 18 hours a day. And they don't have a chance to really understand what's going on out there in the world of money. And if they come view our show, they're going to get an idea of where that money is at and what's going on. We're also working on a page and stuff on our website where we talk about careers, and we also talk about jobs. And hopefully we'll have this part of our website and stuff built sometime in the middle of this month. And you can come out there and look at it. And we're going to be putting out there job openings that are out there. We're going to be putting out the trend and stuff out there in the workforce and stuff, what jobs and stuff are paying the most money, what jobs that you need to go out there and look for. And we're hoping that our audience and stuff takes advantage and stuff of that. And it's a big effort upon our part to do this, but we're doing this because, like you said, Ted, we are giving back to our community in one form or another. And we're hoping that what we do and stuff is beneficial to each and every one of our viewers. And we thank you so much for listening to us.
Absolutely. Till next week, we appreciate you. Y'all have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thank you for viewing.